Allah Ta'ala has said this in a shortcut way. If you pass, you will enjoy. You will come to me relaxed. If you fail, then there will be no worse off person than that individual who fails in the hereafter. And how long do we have to carry on this for? Allah Ta'ala has given us a very short period of time. Short period of time. Not a long period of time. Everyone's got a different phase, different period of time. Somebody has this much time, others have this much time, this much time. Not that everybody had the same amount of time, the same hisab, different periods of time, different lengths of time in their life. Allah Ta'ala says different types of thinking, different characters, different time lengths of the life. These are things to think about. We don't think, do we? All we know is that the child is born, azan's given the ears, and then the dates, saliva is put, the thanik, and then he will grow up and become this. And just like a bubble, it floats up, you know, the bubble. And it floats, it goes bigger, grows bigger, it grows bigger, then suddenly it pops and it disappears. So I was thinking that, look, the human being, this ajib point, unique point to think that how much importance there's importance for you, and you'll go home, they're waiting for you, he hasn't come, and we've cooked food's made. And why is the importance? The child in the hereafter, what should we target? To pass the test. There's only one objective of coming. People think we come for dhikr, that we come to do dhikr. We don't come for dhikr. Dhikr is a majlis, a gathering. Allah has given reward. And those who come just to do dhikr, then they will not go beyond dhikr. They haven't come with the intention of pass or fail. That, for example, those who do dhikr and have no other objective, they don't have yaqeen in Allah, and they sat in dhikr and remembering Allah. I've seen people doing dhikr like this. They don't have yaqeen in Allah. They say, oh, there is no Allah, that Allah's decisions are wrong, astaghfirullah, and they're doing dhikr, criticizing. So if this was the objective of dhikr, then would that be the conclusion? No. So don't make this your objective of life, that dhikr is your objective. Now what should be the objective? That we need to be what? We need to pass the test. Why have we come here? So we can learn how to pass the test. That we're doing dhikr in this majlis, Allah gathers us, gives us the opportunity to do good, but this is not the objective, the end point. I've given the example, haven't I? Myself. The some are sat in our hearts, I don't know what sort of thoughts are coming, and nonsense thoughts are coming, and wasawis and whispering, etc. And somebody will have done fraud and rubbish actions before we come in, and after we go we'll continue. So what dhikr will that person do? What focus will that person have? If you don't have the objective of your life in front of you, then how can you succeed from that gathering? So our objective is, we want to pass. Allah Ta'ala has told us that how can you pass? And how will you fail if you don't succeed? So these messages of the Quran are for those who are serious. Firaun was not serious, was he? The desires. He's made you a human being. Yes, you know, like a remote system. Whoever's controlled that nafs, brought it into his own control, Allah says that person's successful. Yes, the base desires, whoever controls them is successful. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَاهَا. And if a person hasn't managed to control his desires, his nafs, and his nafs has been a loose cannon, yes, loose cannon in the wilderness, then what is the consequence for that person? He didn't control his desires, base desires. He's not just unsuccessful, Allah says, but that person, and failure is really suffered by him who's polluted his nafs. He's wasted his desires, rubbed it in the dirt. Allah says total destruction for that person, failure. And the person who's controlled his desires, how successful is he? Allah Ta'ala has stated, subhanallah, how successful is that person? His success is stated in the dunya, in the world, subhanallah. What a beautiful confirmation that in this life, whilst the person's alive, his qalb and ruh, they will benefit from the tajalliyat ilahi and will be immersed in the tajalliyat ilahi, in the benefit of Allah. And these are the awliya Allah, because it's stated that go to the awliya Allah with the focus and care and caution, because they see with the vision of basira, from the depth of the vision of their hearts. The Allah says, وَقَلْبِ نُورًا وَسَمِي نُورًا, everything of theirs, tajalli نُورًا Adam bi نُورًا, Ya Allah, Noor ala Noor, make me full of light and purity. So what is that nur? Everything, my body, my flesh, my hairs, everything, Allah, my life, inside, outside, external, internal, everything, Allah, please improve it to the state so that I have got nur and I'm enlightened, so I can be a sarapa nur, top to toe nur. Allahu Akbar. He stated his qalb and his heart and his ruh, that person who's controlled his desires, who has suppressed his desires, then his qalb and his body becomes a reflection, absorbs the jaliyat nur, and everything of his life in the world is a benefit. Allah says, I won't show you here the benefit. That any wali of Allah, you cannot see his nur, his full effect. Until today, have you ever seen the full effect of the walis of Allah? The great walis of Allah, we've heard their names, but we can't see the nur. Can we? The benefit. So nur, Allah Ta'ala says that this nur that surrounds and within the wali of Allah, this reward for the wali of Allah, they cannot see. The people, the common people in the world, they cannot see it. Allah says, yes, I will show it. Say subhanallah. At which time? At that time I will demonstrate this. When people will see that person's nur, they'll shriek and scream at, this person? Are they prophets? Are they shuhada? Are they people who attained shahadat? Who are these people? Allah said, these are those who did tazkiyah. These are those people who did tazkiyah, who purified their desires. And then their nur will be apparent, and they will shine and sparkle on the plain of Hashr, and they will come out of their graves illuminated. So me and you, us, we will be in loss. We didn't understand the objective of life, my friends. Imagine that so many people, hundreds of thousands, are dying in this state of ignorance and departing this world. So we should be grateful Allah is explaining this to us. Much worse than the most ugliest of animals. So what is this due to, my brothers? Two things Allah Ta'ala said, I've presented to you. Two choices, and it's your life now. If you want to pass, those men and women, they want to be right, then do this. And if you're going to want to fail, then follow this track of life, this direction, straightforward guidance. Now how can I say, oh, Allah's made me like this was in my destiny, I was to be a sinful, etc. This is that person who worships his desires and is jahil, ignorant. What is the Quran telling us this? No. Here, the Quran has given us two options. So we have to answer those two options and select one of them. So the question arises, Ashkal, that Allah Ta'ala, that you have said that there are two options. How will we realize, how do I know that, how can I realize, how do I know how to control my desires? How do I come into that group of past? Allah gives the answer, Allah says, I'm Khaliq. Then there's, your nafs is one thing, your desires. Yes, your nafs, your desires, it is one factor, and Allah Ta'ala says it's one, but I've put khair and shar, good and evil and bad, into that same one pot. So your nafs, it can absorb good and shar and bad. Both things are there. So it's your choice. You can bring the good to the top and put shar down. But if you want to bring shar to the top, you'll put good down. What's this? Not my fault. Allah made me like this. It's difficult. I can't practice. I can't be good. Is it? Allah Ta'ala said, I give you both opportunities and selection criteria. Allah says, I've given you total freedom of will, choice. I've given you the control in your hand. Either you go towards shar or you go towards khair. Yes. And thirdly, beautiful point, Allah Ta'ala said, I'll make it even more easier for you, that for both of these to control the good and bad. Allah says, I'll give you a great tool to control yourself. Don't say, Allah, I didn't have any tools to control myself to do more good and less bad. I didn't have any assistance. Allah said, I give you your nafs that you'll be tested upon. In that nafs there's good and bad. The good and bad opposites that attract you. So how will you bring good to the top and put bad lower down and suppress it? Then Allah, how can I differentiate? Allah says, I've given you the measurement gauge, which is Shariat Ilahi. Subhanallah, Allah Ta'ala's principles and rules. What does Allah give to us? Shariat Ilahi. Yes, all part of life. And from here we have to proceed. Now, if our desires that are within us, if there are desires that are coming into ourselves and are forcing us to fulfill this desire of mine, what does it do from within? It's forcing you to fulfill it. The desire, how? If it says that break Shariat Ilahi and fulfill this desire, in other words, our base desires are inviting us to do an action. If the nafs is saying, fulfill my desire, but the student who is sinful, openly, he rejects, then he is not the sincere, devout student. Yes, so the path is itiqad, to believe in the Shaykh. You have to believe that this person is my Shaykh, he's teaching me. And will he commit a sin in front of him? Will he do those actions that the Shaykh dislikes? No. He won't. Number 2, he should have adab, extreme adab and comportment for the teacher, for the Shaykh. Did any Sahabi, did they dare to have be'adabi and disrespect in front of Rasulullah? And the third connection is muhabbat, love. So belief and subhanallah, love for the Shaykh. Yes, do you understand what I'm saying? And adab, these 3 things. So those students who don't have these 3 connections with the Shaykh, then he's immodest and he'll sin, he has no haya. That even if you come in front, that tajalli comes, but he doesn't have these 3 connections. Those who have haya, Allah Ta'ala sends that tajalli, the reminder of the Shaykh, that comes in the dream or in front of that person. To this extent I've heard, that person's intending to go and commit a sin, and he stood in front of the mirror. Then the Shaykh's, what's the summary? That our life has 2 options, success or failure, pass or fail. And for this, what do we need to do? What's the differentiating point? The test of the nafs, the debased desires. And to control the desires, what do we do? What do we do? We have to observe our life according to the Sharia. Very systematic, isn't it? Systemic. Yes, every decision is based on a system. No foot should we tread in this world, and should we move in this world without the assistance and guidance of Sharia. And this is why always we have to clash against and ask the questions against the nafs. And to succeed in this, we have to do dhikr of Allah, to stay alert and awake. Yes, for example, if you don't have a Shaykh, you're not bayah with a Shaykh, then where will dhikr come from in your life? Then shaitan will run after you all the time. Do this, or do this, do what you feel like, or today sleep 2 hours more, or pray salah here somewhere, or forget about praying salah today, I'll do this. That person has no guidance. Yes, because he has no guidance, no path. So think yourselves now. Do tajziyah, analysis, self-analysis. Allah Ta'ala said that give yourself feedback. That those who follow the path of tazkiyah nafs, what is the maqam? Their ruh, their spirit and qalb and heart is enlightened with the jaliyati ilahi. And those people who worship their desires, fulfill the request of their desires, they are destroyed. Allahu Akbar.